Well, let's bring Lana Payne into the conversation now. She's the president of Unifor, the union that represents workers at the CAMI assembly plant in Ingersoll. Lana, thank you for being here. Sorry it's not under happiest times.
Yeah, it's been one hit after another for auto workers, for forestry workers, and I honestly feel like this union has been holding back the floodgates for many, many months now, and now all of a sudden the floodgates have burst, and working people are feeling the impact in a very real way of this trade war in this moment.
Yeah, the impact, as you say. And in fact, you and Unifor, you've now issued a statement in response to today's announcement from GM. And in the statement, you say Canada must respond with a real industrial strategy that defends Canadian jobs, leverages our market, and pushes back on Trump's economic bullying. When you say that, Lana, what exactly are you looking for here?
Well, I mean, the reality is that the Canadian marketplace is very important to the things that the US builds. We buy more cars from the US than any other nation on the planet. This is not a one size equation in that, all the leverage is on Trump's side. We have leverage too. And what I'm saying, and what I've been saying for a very long time now, is that Canada has to be willing to use that leverage to defend our industrial economy, because that industrial economy, including the auto industry right now, is at risk. And we need our government to come to its defense.
Now, you did speak with the industry minister today. I'm sure you shared that sentiment with Melanie Joly. What kind of response did you get?
Actually, honestly, since last week, Minister Joly has been doing what I would say an outstanding job in terms of pushing back against these corporations. She wrote a letter to Stellantis. We met with her and Stellantis and the province yesterday around the Brampton decision last week. I spoke to her this morning about what we expect from General Motors and how we need to collectively work together to keep the auto footprint in Canada, keep production in Canada, keep these jobs in Canada as we work our way through this trade war. And she is, from my understanding, setting up response teams, emergency response teams around these two decisions. But the reality is that there are going to be more decisions like this, because these companies have been feeling the pressure from Donald Trump. And the only way that we protect Canadian production is to make sure that they feel pressure from us too. And that may mean that we have to look at the tariff remission plans that these auto companies have received, and use that as leverage to make sure that they're putting product and keeping and living up to their commitments to Canadian workers. We've got to fight and play hardball, Michael, because the reality is we're in an economic war right now, and everything is at risk.
Obviously, I'm not in the rooms where these discussions are taking place, but based on what I've been seeing, Lana, though, right now Canada is negotiating on other matters: steel, aluminum, energy. They are expecting a deal with that within weeks. Is this a case where the government is choosing to try to solve what it can right now and then get back to autos? And if that is the case, what's your response to that?
I have been very concerned that we leave things like auto and lumber and other sectors that, by the way, are going to be under attack from the United States, because there are any number of other trade investigations happening as you and I speak, and that we run out of leverage, and are not willing to use other leverage to make sure that we're protecting the auto industry. We cannot be in a place where the United States gets all the things that they need to build up their economy, to make sure that they can build the things that we need, and they're getting all of our resources from us, and we are left with an inability to build things in Canada because we don't have a market for them. There has to be a trade-off here, that if they want critical resources from Canada, that we get something in return for that. And if we can't, then that's a different game, and that means that we've got to use the leverage that those resources give us to put pressure on the United States.
And when you say leverage, like an export tax on those resources?
All of the things, looking at who can own things in this country, looking at export taxes, looking at all of the things that we know that would create and hasten an economic problem for the United States. At some point, we have to say that the 150,000 jobs in the auto industry, direct and in the supply chain, are worth keeping. The spin-off jobs, which totaling up, we're at a 500,000 jobs, another 300,000 to 400,000 in the forest sector. These jobs are worth defending. These communities are worth defending. They are middle-class jobs. They are good union jobs, and we have to fight for them with everything we have.
I'm wondering if this can be done by the Canadian public, not just the government, because I'm thinking about when GM was essentially threatening to shut down Oshawa a few years back. The workers fought back and sent a message to Canadians, do not buy GM. And the company responded to that message. Is that something that you're willing to consider or are considering right now?
I mean, I've said this exact thing, Michael, to the automakers, that they are risking. They're in the business of brands. They are risking turning Canadians off their products right now by shifting jobs out of Canada and moving them to the United States. And this is something that they should be extremely concerned about. And a little goodwill here will go a long way. And standing up and saying that we believe in our Canadian footprint, we believe in our Canadian workforce, and we're going to keep jobs there, would be very, very significant right now. The alternative is Canadians are doing it already. They are using their spending power, their consumer power to push back in organic ways, and these companies risk Canadians retaliating against them.
Now, it looks like, and I know this is not music to your ears, but it looks like that there will be no deal on autos until CUSMA is reopened, perhaps renegotiated. So, what do auto workers need between now and whenever those talks may happen? Yes, you're talking about action, but is there something to be done in terms of worker support right now?
I don't accept that. I don't accept that we're in a place where we can't get a deal until we get to a CUSMA table. What do we know what that table is going to look like, Michael? Do we know that the president of the United States is even going to want to renew that deal? He can cancel it at any time, leaving the auto industry into that kind of precarious or risky situation is, I would say, unacceptable. We have to make sure that we are bargaining and negotiating a deal that supports all of our industries in Canada collectively, a proper Team Canada approach. We cannot fall into this trap of having Trump pit sector against sector, region against region, and worker against worker. That is not a solution where Canada can win.
I hear the urgency in your voice, Lana, and we're quickly running out of time, but I'm wondering if that urgency is shared by the government and by the people you speak with involved in these discussions.
Well, I hope it is. I can only keep doing what I'm doing here, Michael, but I will tell you, workers are very frustrated right now, and they're going to start showing those frustrations in any number of ways. And we will have no choice as a union to also lay it on the line. People are in the fight of their lives right now, and that means, we're going to have to lay it on the line. And I've been very clear about what that looks like.
Lana Payne, thank you for this. I really appreciate the time this evening.
Thanks, Michael.